Hi everyone, I'm Sachin Parikh,
I'm David Lieberman.
and we're going to do some laid back lessons with L&P.
Laid back.
All right, we're going to take it back old school. This is an all-star picture. I know many of our most devout fans have seen this online, and let's start with the first question. Dave, when did you do this nose?
In the very, very early stages of my career.
And I love that one of the first noses that we had done in the early stages of the career is an all-star nose. It says a lot about Dr. Lieberman, but this nose is beautiful. I hope you all agree. And let's start with, why did this person come into you looking for a rhinoplasty?
So first, I hope that the young woman that I did this on sees this video, because I think she would appreciate it. She's awesome.
I think we owe her a ton. We love you, SC.
Obviously, this is a young woman with just incredibly beautiful eyes, right? And then what you see is you have a nose that has some width, prominence, and then this kind of unusual change in the shape from the upper and middle third to the lower third. We have this kind of pinched and a little bit twisted and some irregularity in the lower cartilages. So it kind of just didn't flow as a nasal unit. Like you have a couple different noses within one nose.
And there are no tricks here. She is wearing she has beautiful eyes to start. She's wearing almost the same amount of makeup in both pictures. But what makes her eyes just all of a sudden stand out in that after picture?
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, the lighting's a little different. I mean, you want to be really careful about lighting and before and afters, and you want to be honest. But I really think that it's this idea of brain attention. Mm-hmm. Is that when we look as humans and we look at an image, we're capturing a certain amount of feeds into our brain, and there's only certain things that we can pay attention to. And when you look at this image, you see a little bit of that irregularity. It just draws your attention. And when it's gone, all of a sudden, you just look at the thing that obviously pops in the page, which are these amazing eyes. And that's, if a nose is overly skeletonized, looks too thin, too narrow, too done, too surgical, I believe that draws just as much attention as a nose that has too much fullness or a bump. So, natural looking noses, obviously that's a term that we use all the time. Yeah. But that means that you're just not paying attention to it so much so that other features can pop.
Yeah, people, would you say that there's this movement of people are looking for certain noses, and sometimes we get people that want really thin noses, and we spend a lot of time talking to them about appropriate width, appropriate balance, and making sure that if it's too thin, like some celebrities out there in the world, that it can be structurally imbalanced, functionally have an issue. And, I think there's beautiful structure here.
Yeah, 100%. I think, again, you don't hear people talking about volume in noses very often, right? In fact,
scares
usually
people.
It scares people, right? Because they think, oh, well, that means it's bigger. Right?
Yeah.
But the right volume in the right places is what makes a nose a nose.
Right.
And, again, it's not always reductive. There are some, meaning making smaller. There are some people that have maybe a bump, but too narrow or pointy of a tip. There you need to volumize the tip a little, just in the right places. Yeah. But that's that little maneuver that's going to create that softness where all of a sudden the nose just sort of fades to the background as a pretty structure, but not something that's going to draw everyone's attention so that these other features can shine.
Laid back.